the Lord Speaker, honorable members, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great privilege for me to have this opportunity to address this august gathering on behalf of the government and the people of South Africa on the occasion of our state visit to the United Kingdom. Indeed, the ties between our two countries and nations are old and enduring. The manifestation of our relationship abound. If you have ever visited our buildings, Parliament buildings, thank you very much for your kind words about the burning of our Parliament building. We will rebuild it shortly and it will return to its former glory. But if you have ever visited our Parliament buildings in Cape Town, you may have seen in the gardens a statue of Queen Victoria, the revered ancestor of His Majesty King Charles III. And not far from where we are gathered today, on the other side of the Parliament Square, is a statue of Nelson Mandela, the father of our nation and the father of our democracy. The presence of the two statues of these two great historical figures at the seats of our respective democracies make a powerful statement. It makes a powerful statement about the duration, the meaning, and the complexity of the relationship between our two peoples. These statues are part of the story of a relationship that was founded in colonialism, conflict, dispossession, and degradation. And yet these two statues are also part of a story of redemption. This is a story of a relationship transformed, a relationship of solidarity, of compassion, of a shared desire for equality, human rights, and the fulfillment of potential for all. Over the last 3 decades, this has been a story of trade, investment, tourism, cultural exchange, education, science, and innovation. We therefore see this visit as an opportunity to celebrate our modern relationship as equal partners, working together for the prosperity and security of our people. We are grateful that the principles that are represented and safeguarded within these hallowed halls, democracy, liberty, humanity, and equality, are now at the center of our strong and dynamic bilateral relationship. These principles not only guide our interaction with each other, these principles also inform our shared perspectives on the difficulties confronting humanity and the opportunities of progress and development. Our world today is beset by conflict and instability. It is also beset by poverty and inequality. We face the existential threat of a planet that is warming at a rate far faster than can sustainably be endured. Collective action within the appropriate global governance systems is now more important than ever before. A strong partnership between South Africa and the United Kingdom could make a significant contribution to multilateralism and the achievement of consensus on critical global issues. It is essential that we reform the international institutions on on which we rely in times of crisis and need, just as it is the case now. We look to the United Kingdom to raise its voice in favor of more representative and more inclusive international bodies, including the United Nations Security Council and global financial institutions. These bodies need to be better equipped to respond to the needs of countries with developing economies. Our membership of the Commonwealth provides us with a body that can play an important role in crafting relevant and innovative responses. Over lunch at Buckingham Palace, I had the opportunity to discuss some of the various initiatives that can be embarked upon by the Commonwealth under the leadership of His Majesty the King. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic exposed many of the fault lines within the global order. It laid bare the huge disparities in wealth, in power, in technology, and health capacity. It also demonstrated both the capabilities as well as the limitations of institutions of global governance, of finance and development. Therefore, as we work to rebuild in the wake of the pandemic, it is essential that we address the inequality within and between nations. Unless we act with urgency and purpose to close the gap between wealthy and poor, hardship and suffering will only deepen. Instability, conflict and terror will also increase. We need to attend to the deficiencies in access to education, healthcare, safe water, sustainable energy and economic opportunity if we hope to end the poverty that is handed down from one generation to the next, as it is in my country, South Africa. Nowhere is the need to tackle inequality more important than in our response to climate change. Those countries that carry the least responsibility for global warming are the most vulnerable to its effect. They do not have the resources needed to adapt to drought, floods, and rising sea levels. And as they seek to grow, as they seek to industrialize and to diversify their economies, their energy needs will increase and the space they have to reduce emissions will keep on narrowing. This places a responsibility on the more industrialized nations of the world to contribute substantial resources to low and medium income countries to fund their climate action. And this should not be seen as charity. It is compensation for the harm done and the harm yet to be done to people in developing economies as a consequence of the industrialization that wealthy countries have had over many years. And because a global reduction in emissions benefits all countries and all people, it is also necessary that investment should be made for the future of humanity, as it will benefit all. We greatly appreciate the commitment of the United Kingdom to the implementation of the Just Energy Transition Agreement that was reached at COP26 in Glasgow last year between South Africa, the United Kingdom, the United States, the EU, France, and Germany. It demonstrates a clear recognition by the United Kingdom government of the importance of supporting transition to low-carbon economies in a manner that does not disadvantage affected workers and communities or industries that will be impacted negatively by a move to low-carbon economies. We've called on the United Kingdom and other partners to ensure that a substantial part of the funding that has been offered through the Just Energy Transition deal takes the form of highly concessional loans, as well as grants, and of course, as well as investment by development funding institutions in the various countries, as well as commercial banks. We are pleased that the final outcomes of COP27 hold out the promise of concerted action to address climate change. It was Nelson Mandela who espoused the vision of a global community of nations that strives by all means available to improve the human condition. Given our history, given our shared values, given the durability of our relationship, I do firmly believe that South Africa and the United Kingdom should be able to work together for the realization of such a global community. 3 decades ago, British people joined hands with the people of South Africa and with millions more around the world to free Mandela and to end apartheid. Yesterday I had the occasion to meet a number of people under the Friends of South Africa Labour Forum. All of them continue to say they would like to see South Africa succeed. They'd like to participate in the development of South Africa, largely encouraged by the message that Nelson Mandela beamed to the world about reconciliation and building a new South Africa from the ruins of apartheid. Now let us rekindle the moral purpose of the global fight against apartheid to confront the discrimination, inequality, and injustice that divides humanity and that stifles the progress of all. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, this state visit is an opportunity to reinvigorate the ties of commerce, of trade and investment between our two nations. The United Kingdom is the largest foreign investor in South Africa and the country's 5th largest export destination. Over the last 2 decades, the UK has been South Africa's largest source of tourist visitors outside of Africa. There are few countries that have the depth of experience and knowledge of the South African economy than Britain. British companies need to use this advantage to greater effect to seek out opportunities in our country for investment and trade. In meeting a number of British business people yesterday at the Friends of South Africa Forum, I was most moved by how a number of them say that they see great opportunities in a number of new industries in South Africa, in renewable energy, in infrastructure and agriculture, and many others, and tourism as well. The cooperation in science and innovation between our two countries is significant, with rich potential for further expansion. Since 2015, the United Kingdom has invested more than 350 million rand in Newton Fund partnerships with South Africa, reciprocated by South Africa's investment of 100 million. The activities of the Newton Fund include a program to train the next generation of radio astronomers in sub-Saharan Africa, marine food security in the Indian Ocean, biomedical research and innovation, and support for entrepreneurs in the informal economy. Over 800 South Africans have benefited from the Chevening Scholarship Program, and there are currently over 130 South African PhD candidates studying in the UK. Yesterday I had the occasion to meet some of them. They are young, a number of them are women, and they have embraced the opportunity to study here in the UK with great enthusiasm. As the South African government and as the President of the Republic of South Africa, I'd like to see these numbers being increased threefold. And when I meet the Prime Minister tomorrow, that's particularly the message I'm going to pass on to him. I hope he's here and he's listening ahead of my discussions with him tomorrow. We are convinced that there is great scope to expand these areas of cooperation. As we strive to rebuild our economy in the wake of the pandemic and the era of what we have gone through, which we call state capture, which was grand corruption, as we work to create employment and economic opportunities for the 11 million South Africans who are without work, we're opening up new frontiers of growth, opportunity, and production. We are undertaking far-reaching economic reforms to make our economy more competitive and more efficient, to reduce the cost of doing business and to encourage new entrants into several industries in our economy. As we undertake the most significant restructuring of our energy market in almost a century, to address the severe power shortages, there are great opportunities for investment, for innovation, and for partnership. By pursuing these and other avenues for cooperation, I believe that we will be able to define the relationship between South Africa and the United Kingdom in a new and exciting ways. By exploring the full extent of our common interests and capabilities, I am certain that we will add another chapter to our long and rich history. And rich history it has been. It has had a number of contours. It has also had its ups and downs. But I want to capitalize on its ups, because it is through capitalizing on the positive sides of our relationship that we are able to have a mutually beneficial future. As the members of this Parliament, you have been vital and engaged participants in the evolution of the relationship between our two countries. You have provided support and encouragement. You have stood by us during our darkest hours, and you have celebrated our achievements. We thank you for your friendship. We thank you also for your solidarity and partnership. And I'm pleased to know that that partnership continues, and it continues to strengthen through various other fora that we have, such as the Commonwealth as well. Please Please be assured of the sincere and enduring friendship of South Africans and its people. The history between us and the bonds between us are much stronger than the challenges that we may be going through or will go through in the future. Let us capitalize on the strength of the relationship